Reticle. Stop taping to your screen.
Hold it.
Gaming is a sport.
Hold it.
Training is a must.
Hold it.
Reticle is the tool.
Release! Release!
I'm releasing.
Yarn!
I think we all need hats like that.
But anyway, this is the mouthwash. Release the Kraken!
Release it! I'm a T-Rex.
I'm Fasa.
This be Aggro.
And I do be the T-Rex of the sea.
This is the mouthwash.
Now with more Kraken.
Yarn!
Yarn!
Avast, it's time for the mouth.
Yeah. Avast.
Yeehaw.
Yar!
Infinity and beyond.
That was one of the most fun shows we ever did. Was the September 19th. For those of you who don't know,
Pirate Day.
For those of you who don't know, contractually obligated to say it 17 times per episode. That is actually Talk Like a Pirate.
By the way,
Day.
we never actually said it 17 times an episode.
I'm actually pretty sure
we may have.
I'm pretty sure that there was an episode or two where I totally did just say just said that as much as possible.
I think lately we barely break like 3.
No, I've been trying. I'm trying to be good and not use the same phrases over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because I recognize that that's a crutch. But
you're a crutch.
I like that joke, so I try to shoehorn that joke at least once in every episode. Yeah, makes me happy. Your mom is a crutch.
So crutch.
So
Crutch Gaming Arena.
The Crutch Gaming Arena sounds like
something
the
horrifying.
most horrifying place.
For the lemon paired.
Wait. Okay. All right. I'm
I'm
following.
pretty sure Clutch is wheelchair accessible.
It is.
Their door is a little bit small, but
I think you get a wheelchair there.
Anyway, we were talking about
Random shout out to
hey,
Clutch.
accessibility is important.
But we were talking about fundamental.
But wait, I'm Fasa,
This is Aggro.
I'm the no.
and we're joined by.
Eugene.
We have to introduce ourselves. It's proper etiquette.
Yeah, whatever. You stop smiling, wingman. I'll come in there. I promise.
No, you won't.
That's what he said.
Okay, that's an.
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
Cut that. Okay.
Please.
So
Why? What's the big why?
I just wanted to do the end cut for the stupid laughing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, before Wingman mutes us all and just takes over the show himself, like him and Yoko.
I want to
do a
see that
show.
actually.
That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
But we were talking about first-person shooters and what first-person shooters we feel have good fundamentals and what those fundamentals are is actually where we're at right now. And I think I'll start this one just because I feel like Wikitiki actually put a pretty good list up in the Twitch chat. You know that you talked about while we were talking about it. But for me, it's about. To a certain extent, it's about ease of control for a console shooter. Now, there is a huge difference between.
Define what you mean by ease of control. Do you mean responsivity, like responsiveness?
I do mean responsiveness more because if it's about where on the trigger the gun starts firing and like things can feel very sluggish in a lot of ways. Like you have to have that up to the controls have to be responsive because if it feels sluggish, then it causes. Issues. It causes things to feel wrong when you're playing. I feel like a certain nod to physics is sort of necessary. Some weapon or something that bounces, like the bullet drop in Battlefield 4, while it is sort of intense, is actually really cool.
Yes.
Eugen's like obsessed with the physics in Battlefield 4.
Yes, I am. Yes. It
No,
actually
I appreciate
requires
it too a lot. Actually,
a lot more skill.
They're great, but like even the grenade launcher and the shenanigans you could pull with that in GoldenEye were just very entertaining. Like a certain nod to physics and proximity mines and stuff like that. I think map design, level design is really important when you're talking about multiplayer.
It's ridiculously important.
I mean,
regardless
just
of
in
what kind
gaming,
of game.
period.
Yeah,
I was going to say, not even in multiplayer, like level design, just period.
That's the rule of gaming. If your level design sucks, your game sucks.
Absolutely. And I think like for single player, like simple puzzles are almost necessary. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to make cryptography puzzles that players will stop playing.
That require you to pause the game, go learn Aramaic, come back and solve the puzzle.
Most of the time, like a controlled combat situation in a single player game is a puzzle of a sort. You have to say, how do I get through this without dying?
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
And that's also a good point is when you say puzzle. what do you define as puzzle?
A lot of people think, automatically go to the, I have to turn a giant stone tablet and shoot a laser into a gem or something. And puzzles can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, as simple as that. You can have a level where I've got a pistol with 5 rounds in it and a grenade. How am I supposed to survive
Now you
this?
gotta get to a room with 1,000 people.
And actually,
Basically.
yeah, I think
Let's go.
I think resource management, like forcing your players to effectively manage resources, is definitely a big part of good first-person shooters. At least making it difficult. Like on the harder difficulties, when you're in a room full of demons and all you have is a knife and your wits. Like, you have to figure out how to make your way through.
At you, Hellspawn!
Like, and that's it's stuff like that that is that I think makes for good
FPS.
FPS,
Especially in certain genres. I think resource management is one of the most important aspects of a horror game.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the most, and I think most first-person shooters can actually qualify to a certain extent as horror games. You get the jump scares, you get. You inevitably,
bit, yeah.
like most, not all first.
It has some similar elements. I don't know if I would say qualifies as a horror game.
That's fair.
Yeah,
but you're always you get those sort of hordes of like overwhelming odds, but a lot of the time, and you get the jump scares. You get a lot of elements that exist in horror games as well.
They have similar sources of catharsis.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so Eugene, what do you think is fundamentally necessary to have a good first-person shooter?
Are we talking about just in general, multiplayer, single player?
Oh,
whatever you want to talk about.
That encompasses the gambit, like just.
I don't know. It's my opinion is kind of biased. Being ex-military.
Right.
Well, that's fair though.
So I tend to go for things that are more realistic. Mm-hmm. So like Gnome was saying earlier, physics to me in a game, it's important. Bullet drop is important because that's something that has to happen. It's no gun just laser lines across the world. It just doesn't happen that
unless
way.
it's a laser.
I hate you.
Does gravity pull light?
Actually, lasers.
A little bit.
Yeah, lasers don't actually go in straight lines either.
Yeah, there you go.
They curve as well.
Yeah.
It's like science or some shit. Anyway, go ahead.
But no, just fundamentally to make a game fun, a first-person shooter.
Gun fun.
those are just inherently fun.
Yeah.
No, it's about basically the weapons, the maps, and then that's kind of the basis of what needs to be there for it to be fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has to be balanced, but other than that, as long as you have weapons, you don't really need beautiful scenery or anything like that. I mean, although bonuses, you don't need that for it to be fun. Mm-hmm. Like, pretty sure any one of us can go back and pick up GoldenEye and be like, man, this is awesome. Even though it's still really old. You know what I mean? But nowadays, it's just all of it's basically the same. You can find the fun in just about any first-person shooter. It's just what game mechanics do you prefer more?
Yeah.
It's really all it is.
Do you know that the little mines in Super Smash Brothers were originally going to be the proximity mines from GoldenEye, but
Yeah.
they couldn't secure the rights to it?
Oh,
So that's why
that's a little sad.
They also wanted to have James Bond as a character.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. I would love I would love if they got the opportunity to do that. But
That'd be cool.
But the incorporating Snake.
Early concept.
Yeah.
Early concept stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was in the first one, too, not in
But I
the
do want to move on because
second or third.
Because I want to move on because I think that's a good overview of sort of what we think.
I didn't
You
get to say
need-
anything.
Oh, what do you think? Sorry, I
No
thought you were
one
participating.
cares about you.
Oh, right. Sorry. So, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I thought you were participating when we were talking about.
I didn't.
stuff.
I didn't say.
I
anything.
agree with Lamental. I like Team Fortress a lot.
Yeah. I mean, if we don't have enough time, I could just hold my.
No, it's not about time. It's go
Oh.
ahead.
Oh.
All right. Well, to me, fundamentally, a first-person shooter is movement, good controls that help amplify the experience you're going for, interesting design, and you know what? I think a little bit of a surprise here is good sound design, because nothing feels quite as good to me than a nice crack of a gun. If it sounds good, it just registers on a deeper level. And that's why I like the later Halo games a lot, because they do, take actual gun sound effects and put them use them as reference.
I do like the Family U gun noise.
Yeah. But playing like Battlefield 4, especially when Eugene brings this like big sound bar thing and you hear that sniper crack, because someone just missed that shot and you're like, oh, Ooh.
You hear it whiz by your
Yeah.
head. You don't piece.
Oh, okay. I almost died. I'm excited. And so I think sound design is important. Again, me being a little bit of a Halo fanboy, a massive Halo fanboy, to me they did a lot of things right, and it's because they did the you pick how to play kind of deal. It was you spawned and you could be a sniper, you could have the assault rifle, you can go to be a shotgun kind of guy. There were vehicles around, and that's really important to me. Is how do I want to enter the battlefield? How do I want to get my kills? And am I dedicated that way? Because they kind of paved the way for a lot of first-person shooters that now have classes and stuff. Before there were classes, Halo just let people go grab the weapon, which, if you don't like that, that's fine, but just bear with me here. It was just, if you want to be a tank buster, go be a tank buster. Mm-hmm. And that's, to me, where I think first-person shooters shine, because it allows you to be, do you want to be a sniper? Do you want to be balls to the wall, running the group of enemies and just grenade and see how many kills you can get before you die? That's how I play. I just want to see how many kills I can get per life, not at the end of the round.
Absolutely.
Versus Aggro, who likes to just sit at the edge and pick
I like to
people
not
off.
have a lot of deaths. And I'm satisfied with getting a lot of assists. Like, I like getting assists.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I couldn't play like that. It would make me tear my hair out. But you're okay with that, and that helps me play my way better.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, that's a team.
I'm like long to medium range.
Yeah.
I like long
Or like
to
in
medium.
Battlefield, how you get a bonus for just spotting people. Like, I just want to sit on top of a building and tell my team where everyone is.
Well, 'cause that's
I think that's fundamental.
In Battlefield, everybody plays a different role, and it's kind of required that everybody plays that role.
You can't have a team full of medics.
But just
You
to
can in
interject
Team
on
Fortress.
that, though, I mean, we're talking about fundamentals. Anything besides like the shooter part of it is not fundamental. Fundamental means the basics. So, vehicles and things like that, that's a bonus part of it, but that's not a fundamental of a shooter.
Right.
Well, I'm saying fundamental in the sense of, how do I want to play this match? Do I want to go super long range, super far range? And allowing me to do that, I think that's fundamental for just games in general, because games are about choice, but it helps the fundamentals of a first-person shooter. That's a different argument.
I don't think they are.
Shut up, Bioshock. So that's my input on it.
No, just as a game designer, I don't think games are about choice.
That's fair enough. But we are.
I know.
There's something else I want to talk about real quick. We only got a couple of minutes, and unfortunately, I have to go here shortly. But I do want to touch on PlayStation Now. We've had someone in our chat. Sorry,
Fate 2021.
Fate 2021. Sorry, I couldn't remember who it was. Has been talking about PlayStation Now because we got that announcement, and I sort of. This is my bad. Like I usually do the news. It's my bad. I didn't go into a lot of detail or really talk about PlayStation Now. In part because it's something that I expected, and in part because I actually had a fundamental misunderstanding about it. I was under the impression that PlayStation Now was the video streaming service. It is not.
No.
PlayStation Now is actually a games streaming service, which Sony has introduced. Right now, there's only a few titles that are available, and Sony does recommend you have at least 5 megabytes per second of download speed.
I'm going to go ahead and recommend more, though.
Yeah, I would always recommend more if you're going to stream something as intense as a game, but you can just stream some of the games from the last year or two. Just go in through the service, click on a game, and let it load up and just play. That's just
really
a thing that you
cool.
can do. But we're coming up on a break right now. I actually have to go to the working place, the place where I work, which is sad.
Wow, it's like
I know. Right?
wow, it's like you're speaking English or something.
I know.
So yeah, we're gonna have to break. He's signing off.
I'm signing off, but
That's okay.
I think when they come back, I think Eugen probably knows more about this than any of the rest of it because he is our resident PlayStation fanboy right now.
I'm not a fanboy. It's just a better console.
Eugen is our resident PlayStation fanboy right now.
I'm Fasa.
This is Aggro.
We're joined by
Eugene.
And
And
this
we'll
is
be right
the
back.
Gnome
signing
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure to hit us on the Facebooks, hit us in the twitch.tv chat. And stay tuned because there's that, and also we're going to talk about some other genres and stuff. So, yeah. Yes. KGSS.
Mouthwash, bitches.
Aw, jeepers, I wish I could play video games more.
Well, Harry, does your internet suck?
Yeah?
Is your TV a hunk of scrap metal?
Yeah, 'cause Daddy doesn't come home anymore.
Well, Billy, you should check out Clutch Gaming Arena.
What's that?
Why, Clutch Gaming Arena is Colorado's #1 mecca for esports and competitive gaming. With over 50 PCs, a massive gaming projector, and a swelligant sound system you'll never want to leave.
I'll never go home again.
You won't have to, because of the delicious snack bar packed with tasty drinks and snacks.
Golly gee, mister.
That's right, Sally. Check them out on their Facebook page or at clutcharena.com.
My name is Jim.
Ha ha! That's right, Timmy. Check out Clutch Gaming Arena today.
Taking fire! Taking fire! Oh my god, this place is so clutch!
Clutch Gaming Arena, because going home is for quitters.
I want more clothes to put on. I need more clothes.
Let's go to Goodwill. I need to cover my shame.
I'm the gnome.
This is MouthWash. I'm Fasa.
I'm Aggro.
And I'm the gnome.
Legendary.
Here on the MouthWash. Mouthwash. But you didn't hold it.
All up in that cortex.
All up
in y'all's brain.
Is there such thing as psychological assault? Because that just happened.
Pretty sure that there is such a thing.
Here on the MouthWash. Here on the MouthWash.
Mouthwash. What's up? Hey, guys, I'm Fasa.
This is Aggro.
This is Eugene.
And we are talking about, was it PlayStation Now?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? So, Eugene, fill me and Aggro in on some of the more details and stuff that you're excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Fate 2021, if you're still in the chat, talk to us too. Give us some love. Show us. Yeah. So take
Because
it
we
away.
love you.
Actually, surprising enough, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't
Okay.
really.
What's the problems with it then? Well, talk about it first and then tell us what the problem is that makes you not excited about it.
Well, because number one, it's an idea stolen from Steam.
Well, damn.
Well, that's what Sony's always... To be fair, that's all Sony ever does,
That's
Not
kind of
true.
true.
is take ideas from other companies.
Not necessarily.
Must
It
I
is
remind you of
almost
PlayStation All
completely
Stars?
true.
Not necessarily.
PlayStation All Stars is a thing. And half of the tags on YouTube, if you look for PlayStation All Stars, I'll say Super Smash Brothers.
I don't like you.
And they had their normal controller for the PS3, and then as soon as the Wii announced the Wiimote, they slammed that crappy 6-axis crap into it. And then they put out the PlayStation Move later with their weird little glowing dildo wand.
By the way,
Really?
Fate.
Why am I even here? Why am I? You want me to leave?
No, just talk about now. I just
Be
want to
nice.
bash on Sony a little bit.
Tug on your ear. Be nice.
Well, no. I mean, I'm
Not saying Microsoft's better.
I'm not
But-
necessarily.
Nintendo. At least we have a legitimate console. Anyway,
I'm just not.
just real quick, Fate 21 is feeding son. So, aw. Hi, baby geek. Anyway, go ahead, dude.
Just not excited for it. I mean, I would much rather.
Limit to go Smash Bros.
I would much rather have the games on my actual console because if I'm playing it and let's say internet outage, I don't have internet, I don't have access to those games that I just wanted to play.
So if you just bought them,
yeah,
you still need internet to play them.
yeah, you're streaming them.
So I thought we talked about this next-gen consoles. Cut the shit.
I don't agree with that.
Especially here at the station, because our internet goes out whenever it damn well pleases, and that's bullshit.
Can you not just record as you play and then send it off into stream space?
I haven't seen anything saying that you could. I mean, then again, I haven't put too much research into it because I don't like the streaming gaming thing. It's too internet heavily reliant. Like if my internet gets laggy, then my game gets laggy. I don't.
Fate 2021 says you don't buy them. It's a rental service.
Even still.
That actually kind of makes me more mad because my internet goes out. I lost my rented game, which will have to go back at some point in time. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I do agree that I don't think the majority of gamers have access to high enough quality internet
Probably.
for these services to really be of use. Which is much like my problem with the PS3 when it first came out with its console price where it expected you to already have an HD TV and everything.
Right.
But-
Yeah, cloud saves are still. It's in the cloud. It's not on your. Cloud saves are still in the cloud. It's not on your actual console. The cloud is just internet storage.
And I don't trust the Sony network after the
PS3.
PS3 fiasco.
Several.
I
If you
can't
ask us.
blame you guys. for
However, it may turn out to be really effective. We will see. That's the important thing here. We may see. We'll find out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, like, well, saying it's Steam, it was kind of their concept at first. A lot of people that were baiting the Steam box, they say they like it.
Right.
So, I mean, it could possibly be the same way. Me personally, I probably won't utilize it.
Okay. That's
As long as you can still buy a hard copy of your game and this is an option, I'm okay with it.
No, it won't. It's not necessarily hard copies. It's all previously released games. So you'll be playing like PS3 games, PS2 games.
Okay. Well, I'm saying as long as the hard copy never goes away.
Is the PS4
Period.
backwards compatible?
No.
Because the Xbox One isn't either, and that irritates me.
Microsoft actually really still hasn't made up their mind on that, though.
Yeah. The Wii U is.
It's also not a console.
Like for Microsoft, all they have to do is software patch, and it can be backwards compatible. That's all Microsoft has to
Please,
do.
Microsoft.
The
please.
N64 is still a console, even if it doesn't compete graphics-wise with the new one. Like, they're all. The Wii U is a console.
Sure it is. It's okay, Aggro.
Third-party support doesn't determine whether it is or not.
Sure it does.
Technically, the iPhone's a console.
And it still sells better than the Wii.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How's that feel?
It's friggin' Apple.
How does that feel? And they're Nintendo. How's that feel?
Nintendo's been on the downcline
You feel good?
for a long time.
Feel good about your
Actually,
choices
on
in
that
life?
same note, did you guys know that Apple actually tried to make their own console once?
Yes. And it was horrifying.
I love Nintendo. I am not.
We're talking about Apple, not Nintendo.
No, I'm
Stop
saying
it.
I will go on record talking about Nintendo's flaws and stuff, but that doesn't mean I don't like them as a game producing company better than other things. I wish they did better with their console. I agree that they have lots of faults and that they didn't approach it in the right way, but it happened, and it doesn't mean that the Wii U doesn't have good games.
No, I don't think they didn't approach it in the right way because they had a targeted market. They hit that targeted market.
This wasn't as big as I thought it was.
I mean, most families that are in the games like that have a Wii or a Wii U or some type of Nintendo something.
I think they could have done some things differently. I for one, believe that they should have focused on their 3DS sales and game production for another year and put out a console simultaneously, because then they could have seen what the other people were doing and made a console that could compete. Because if they had a console that could compete power-wise, then they could get the third-party support,
and also developers that want to make it, that want to contribute, and give them really cool. Cool exclusives. Really, exclusives are very important because at the end of the day,
Nintendo already has their exclusives. That's
they do,
not the
but
problem.
they're the same. They're the same games. They're not new titles. You see what I'm saying?
But they're so fun.
They are. I love Nintendo games. I mean, I love Pokemon.
I don't think it's fair to call them same games. They're same.
Well, okay, if you buy a Wii U,
Call of
you know
Duty
you're
is
getting
the same game.
but it's not exclusive. I mean, you didn't buy.
Yeah, I know. But
what I'm saying is,
Dark Souls is the same game.
it's not exclusive. You see
God
what
of
I'm saying?
War is the same game. Halo is the same game.
Right.
But those are the only exclusives that they have.
Not true. Now we have Titanfall,
What's that exclusive to?
Xbox,
Isn't it on
Microsoft.
PC? Yeah.
and PC, but it's Xbox or
So it's not
PC.
completely exclusive.
It's Xbox or PC.
People who own PlayStations can still play it on the PC.
but they can't play it on the Wii U.
And then
see
PlayStation
my
All
problem?
Stars shows how. And then PlayStation All Stars shows how successful Sony exclusives are.
But they also have Killzone. But they also have Killzone.
It's still not Donkey Kong.
But it's Killzone.
Like,
I haven't seen my movie like Donkey Kong commercial. I've seen a movie like Killzone commercial.
why does it have to be movie like? Why
point is-
why does it being movie like determine how great it is?
Because that means that they're willing to put in more money because they know it's going to
No,
sell
it means
better.
that the game is that kind of graphic game.
No, I'm talking about those live action commercials that they put in.
They've made tons of live action Donkey Kong and other
No,
commercials.
they've made
Not
a couple of
recently.
Samus ones.
Not recently. There were tons of live action Nintendo commercials back in the day when Nintendo was on top.
They made a couple of Samus ones for Metroid Prime 2. That's what they did.
They made
There was a
ones for
blonde chick.
Zelda. There was one for the original Super Smash Brothers. I remember that commercial where they were running around in costumes like Yoshi and Mario and beating the crap out of people. That commercial was hilarious as a kid. On top of that, there were ones for Zelda in Japan. There were ones. They exist.
No.
Just because you haven't seen them doesn't mean they aren't real.
By definition, if I haven't seen it, it doesn't exist.
That actually, wait, no. Boondocks quote.
Scientifically,
The absence
that's
of
somewhat
evidence.
correct, possibly, but that's theoretical.
No. Samuel said, absence of evidence.
It's not,
not the evidence of absence.
Yeah, smart words.
Anyway.
Again, now just real quick for everyone who's listening, I'm not actually a Nintendo hater. I just like to push his buttons.
He does.
I enjoy Nintendo. They just need to play the game. They just need to play the game of gaming better.
Which I agree with.
Just need to be nicer
that's
to
never been my argument.
third-party publishers. It's like let them get a taste of the technology, give them some feedback, tell them what you're doing. Don't just be like, we're making a Wii U gamepad and you're gonna freaking like it, and they're like, no, we're not.
But then again, at the same time, I also kind of am.
Use your words.
I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. I'm happy that Nintendo at least tries to do things differently. I like the fact that their priorities are different, and I've explained this before, where Nintendo's priorities are different because Microsoft is an electronics company. They make computers. They make other things. They have other products that they bring in revenue from.
Right.
Sony is an electronics company. Not as much anymore, but it is. You know, they make
No, it still is.
music stuff.
they make
have,
TVs.
They may have movies. They have Spider-Man.
They do have Spider-Man.
Nintendo is a
Flip.
gaming company. It has only and only will ever be a gaming company.
And I respect that. However,
no,
as a gaming
let me get
company,
to my point.
they
Their,
don't play nice with
their
others.
priority is creating games for Nintendo consoles and making Nintendo games. That's their priority. Microsoft and Sony are cash cows. All they're interested in is making a profit, so they're going to cater to the third-party developers more because they want them to make money for them.
And then why
Nintendo says, these are our ideas, this is our motivation because we started out making cards,
again,
and we're a gaming company, so we're going to do what our priorities are, even if that's not exactly what the entire larger gaming market's idea is, because we're serving our market.
I respect that, and that's fine. However, if they're a Wicked Tiki says 3DS greater than Xbox One.
I agree.
You're on to something. Anyway, but I respect that. I understand that they're a game company and they have their ideas, whatever. However, here's my counterpoint: if they're so focused on making good games and great games, shouldn't they cater to everyone that want to make games? The people who make games regularly.
Which I agree with. Yeah, I'm not
saying that bend to their will, but I'm saying at least be nice to them and allow them to see what you're doing on the Wii U before you release it. That way they can see, I could do something with that. Or, because here's the thing, the Wii U has a Pro controller. It's shaped like a normal controller, which means you can put any game you want on it.
Or you can just play it on the Wii U pad because it's practically a regular controller anyway. It has all the buttons.
It'd be
you need.
really hard to play Ninja Gaiden,
But it's huge.
on a Wii U pad.
It's like holding any other controller except for that you have a tablet between it.
Okay, here's the
That's
thing.
not at all like any other controller.
No, like literally, you've held the Wii pad.
And I like it, but I couldn't
held
play Ninja Gaiden on it.
Why not?
Because I have Ninja Gaiden at the station, and after the show, I will play Ninja Gaiden, and then I will mimic the same actions on the Wii U pad.
The buttons are literally in the same places. It just has a larger space between the two sides of the controller.
It doesn't feel as good as reactive as it does on other controllers that are smaller that I need to have to do other stuff. Nintendo knows how to utilize the gamepad effectively, and that's awesome because they made it. Other companies have a hard time finding a way to interact with it and use the technology in the Wii U pad effectively without it just being
It's not a
radar.
lack of innovation. It's a lack of funding and time. They don't want to develop.
I don't
want
agree with
to
that.
because it requires more.
I don't agree with that, but we'll
It's
talk
not a
about
lack
this
of
more.
innovation.
We'll talk about this more when we come back from break. We're about to head a break. So when we come back, we'll be finishing that argument up. Or, I'm sorry, debate would be a better way to describe it. And we'll see where it goes from there. I'm Fasa.
This is Aggro.
And we're joined by...
This is Eugene.
So stick around. Talk to us in the Twitch chat. Hit us up on Facebook. And make sure to call us at 1-855-303-4335. That's 1-855-303-GEEK. We'll be right back. Yes, yes, yes. KGSS. Woo! Woo!
From the
Are you suffering from target jitter? Having trouble controlling your reticle? Worried about low KDR? Then ask the internet about Reticle Advanced Targeting Systems. It's a non-adhesive film that clings to your television and won't damage it. It helps improve target jitter, eye muscle memory, and KDR. It's available for sale now at Geekstreetsociety.com. Just click on the store link. It comes in 3 sizes: sniper, ambush, and firefight for any size TV. Side effects may include awesomeness, kill streaks, and the adulation of your peers. Reticle. Stop taping shit to your screen.
Hold it.
Gaming is a sport.
Hold it.
Training is a must.
Hold it.
Reticle is the tool.
Release! Release!
I'm releasing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Inform Lord Vader we have a prisoner.
Since you are reluctant to provide us with the location of the rebel base, I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of
Geek Street Society Radio.
Where is the rebel base?
I can hold it. Pull on!
No, I'm all right. Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
What?
You're far too trusty.
Geekstreetsociety.com.
Welcome to the morning.
Morning.
Pretty much the question is, how hot can it get?
It's kind of, there's so many angles. It was like angle land.
Mouthwash. Since we're on the topic anyway.
I swear it was an accident, not a test.
Mouthwash.
That's not true! It's impossible!
Yes!
Shut your face.
Should I roll out now after this?
Mouthwash.
I'm going to break you.
Oh wait, we're on the air?
Every weekday from 7:30 to 10.
Check it out. What up?
What up?
I'm Fasa,
This is Aggro.
and we're joined by,
This is Eugene.
and we have a whole bunch of controllers here
What
on the
it
table.
is.
So many controllers.
Here's the classic Xbox 360 controller. We all know it. We love it.
Here is the Xbox One controller. You know, it's a little bit fatter on the bottom, just the way I like it.
I agree, 100%.
Anyway, and then here's the PS4 controller. A little bit slimmer, but still got some nice little curves on it.
This is going to get really bad really quickly.
Yeah, it's got... I actually really like the PS4 triggers. That's an honest, like, I like the buttons. I got used to the 360, so personally I like the control stick placement better on the 360.
Yeah, that's always a weird
on
one.
on the Xbox One. But aside from that, I think I like the buttons better on the PS4 controller.
I will say this does feel good in your hand, though.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably wondering, why are we even talking about this? Well, last segment we were talking about the Wii U and why people don't like, why third-party developers, and for those of you who don't know, I'm not saying the joke, a third-party developer is Bethesda or Gearbox or even 343. They're a company that just makes video games and they're published by other people. So that's a third-party developer.
And this is the Wii U pad, you know.
That is the controller for the Wii U.
Standard controller, in addition to the Wii Motion Plus or a Wii Pro controller, which is a sort of more traditional controller. It very much resembles, you know, sort of an Xbox controller or GameCube controller a little bit. So this is the Wii U pad if you have never seen one before. And this is the special edition Zelda one that came with the Wind Waker bundle. So
yeah. So we were talking about why third-party developers don't want to develop for the Wii U and why that's a big deal. And here's my opinion. I've seen several interviews where I'm not going to name any names, but not for lack of information. Just I don't want to just put anyone on blast like that. But anyway, so I've seen a lot of interviews where they're talking about how during the development of the PS4 and the Xbox One, Microsoft and Sony respectively came to the developers and said, "This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to put in. These are the functions of our console." And the developers were like, "Okay, all right, we can see what we do with that. We can plan ahead for that. We can start to brainstorm ideas to put in with the games." And of course, Microsoft and Sony kind of get first dibs on game titles a little bit. I mean, this is kind of like, okay, you know, there's going to be quote unquote blockbuster games from third-party developers. Nintendo did not do that. Nintendo did not approach other developers and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is the Wii U gamepad. This is what it does. This is how it works. This is the things you can do with it." They didn't do that. They just released the console and said, "Hey, make games for this." And these developers are already making games for other consoles that are very similar. Eugene, I know you disagree with that, but on the sense of this on the box, they're more similar to each other than the Wii U. So they don't want to stop what they're doing, go to the drawing board and rewrite some of the game mechanics to work with the Wii U gaming pad or the nunchuck or the Wii Pro, whatever. And granted, there is the Wii Pro controller, which is a more classic controller. So they could have done that as well. I do put that on the developer. They could have done that and just said, yo, there it is. They could have made a more down-powered version, not by much.
Or you could just not have utilized the Wii U pad's pad. You don't have to utilize it outside of just porting something to the screen. It has all of the buttons that the Wii U Pro or other controllers have.
Well, hold on. Let me jump in real quick. It's kind of on the developers' parts, too, because a lot of developers right now, they're mainly focused on, ooh, look at my game. It's so pretty. It's the most amazing
that's my
thing that you've ever seen. And they're trying to put it out on the most powerful consoles that are out there.
Which means PC and then going down the ladder.
Basically. And the Wii U and the Wiis are not about that. They're about, hey,
fun.
This game has a lot of good mechanics to it. It's fun. You'll like playing this game, even though it's not as visually attractive.
Even though the Wii U is more graphically powerful than the 360 or PS3. It is. It's like the in-between console.
I'm waiting for Vincent to give the...
Not. Have you seen GT6?
The graphic capability of the Wii U is higher than the PS3.
It is not.
Prove it.
It is.
Off show, we will combat it. I'm saying that they put it out as the in-between console. Otherwise, I don't see the point of putting it out. I think they should have waited another year, personally. That's always been
I 100% agree
with that. Been my argument for Nintendo. I think they should have waited another year and put out a more powerful console.
You see, they were trying to pull a Wii again, where it was like, Wii! And everyone's going to be like, yeah!
Except for everybody was already like, the Wii wasn't that great after a while. I agree completely. I think Nintendo has made very poor choices regarding their console post GameCube. So
there were mistakes made with the GameCube.
Yeah, like but I don't know. I liked the GameCube. There were so many good games for it. There were so many. It didn't need it. It wasn't the focus of it. GameCube was at home playing in local multiplayer and having a good time.
I respect that. But remember we just said they had bad decision making skills? That's one of those bad decision making
skills. PS2 barely had internet capability. They did, but it was not until the end, and it wasn't the main focus. Xbox came out and did that specifically. That's what they were catering to because it didn't exist.
Right,
because it failed with the Dreamcast, so they tried to push it again.
Don't you talk about the Dreamcast.
So then the PS3 the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out and really capitalized on multiplayer because it became a thing.
Online,
It became a thing. And the Wii failed to capitalize that or compete graphically, which is fine. That's Nintendo effing up. I'm not going to defend that because I don't need to. And the Wii U could have been just as good as the other consoles and powerful, and they didn't make it so, and that's my problem with it. That being said, I don't think that it's a useless hunk of plastic. I think there are ways to utilize it, and it should be utilized better by third-party developers.
But if Monster Hunter comes out for the PS4, I'm going to check my Wii out the window. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. It's real. That's real. And it's like I look at it like this. If Destiny came out for the Wii, it would be really fun because you have the Wii pad. But Microsoft and Sony were talking to Bungie beforehand, and they were like, okay, and then Nintendo was like, no one's gonna play Destiny. What did they do before that? Reggie, it was Halo. Who plays Halo? Do you leave the office? Do you look outside ever?
Like I said, I don't support all of Nintendo's decisions. By any means,
or just make a really cool.
I do agree with Eugen that I think a lot of the fault falls on the developers, though, and that's not necessarily something I'm blaming them for. I see their reasons for doing it. I think
I'm a little upset at them.
I think that you can make perfectly good-looking games on a 1080p system.
Yeah.
The fact that they're still putting out games for the PS3 and 360. Means that they could be porting games to the Wii U because it could handle it. No. The Batman Arkham City version looks way better on the Wii U than it does on 360 or anything else. It's updated. They put it out for it. It looks great. The Wii U has power. I'm not saying by any means that it can compete power-wise with the Xbox One or PS4. But I'm saying developers could be making things for it that could be good, and they're choosing not to. And
I'm saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And you're talking about them not doing it for the pad.
Mm-hmm.
They do the same thing for the PlayStation, and I think
that's right. It has
also
this little
coming out.
whatever the hell this thing is.
Xbox One has the voice and connect features.
I'm not
now,
not talking about that. Like like you can pair your Vita with your PlayStation and play your games and have extra functionality out of it through your Vita or through your tablet. They can do the same thing with that pad. They're just choosing not to.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. You just don't know.
I really think it just comes down to graphics. They're like, well, we can't make it PS4 graphics, so we're just not going to try. Either that or they think that it might be more expensive to create for the Wii U than the actual game sales will provide. Like, enough people won't actually buy the games for the Wii U because there aren't that many consoles out there.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think that the Twitch feed here needs to give us some feedback on what do you guys think about this conversation we're having. Are you Wii U fans? Are you not Wii U fans? Do you think they need third party development? Do you think the Nintendo's is going to get shot in the water this console war? What do you think? I don't want to see the death of Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I really do. I have Pokemon in my pocket right now. But tell us what you think.
The defining moment of Nintendo is Pokemon.
It's one of them.
It's definitely one of their,
it's not the defining moment, but it's definitely one of their core franchises.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like the Xbox. Xbox is the house that Halo built.
Basically.
Period.
But
there's nothing wrong with that. You just expand upon it.
If you're going that route, then that would be Mario. It's kind of Nintendo's thing.
Well, that's the house of Mario, Zelda, Metroid.
That's the house that a whole party full of awesome core franchises built.
And just those core franchises, nothing else.
The fact that it floated,
that it's still living
that it floats that boat that well.
No, that's fine. It's just the foundation will give way eventually, and it might be this generation.
I would like to think, I think Nintendo's making some smart decisions in trying to really capitalize on the 3DS's success, and they're putting out games simultaneously for both, and having, that dual functionality between the 3DS and Wii U system.
1 second here. Fate 2021 says, I think the Wii U will be dead in a year if it doesn't get more third-party support. I have one right now only because of Smash Bros. And you know what? Got a point. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think that was a good point.
I can't really disagree with him. I was going to say, almost the same thing, that I think that when Smash Bros. Comes out, it will get some more love.
People will definitely buy it, yeah.
But I don't agree that that's the only thing that's out for it. I think, Wind Waker HD was enough to sell me.
but you love Wind Waker.
But that's me being a personal Wind Waker fanboy. On top of that, you have new Donkey Kong coming out, which looks fantastic. The last few Donkey Kong games have gotten amazing reviews. There, of course, have been the new Super Mario games that came out that did really, really well in reviews and critics-wise. I've played them. They're fun. I am okay with that's the problem. I'm okay with Nintendo being almost exclusive to their core franchises because they're that good. But I know that as a company, they can't really succeed without that third-party support. And competing that well.
The truth.
No, that and because a lot of those games already have a huge fan base from the people who grew up playing those,
and a loyal fan base.
Less and less,
like Aggro. No offense.
The current generations are still playing those games.
Yeah.
So
people who didn't grow up playing them aren't going to start playing them,
basically,
unless they have a console that they're going to buy games they already know and love on. If players who were not already familiar with those franchises, people who didn't grow up playing Zelda, which unfortunately exist, or playing Mario, who unfortunately exist now, who have access to an Xbox One, aren't gonna go and play that game. They're going to say, oh, this looks like a dumb, stupid kid game. Why would I play that when I can play Killzone? And they're really wrong for that, not because Killzone's bad, but because it's such a different gaming experience and it's challenging and fun, and there's all these reasons to like these Nintendo games that I think a lot of current hardcore, air quotes, gamers don't
I don't
see. I don't
think you can consider yourself a hardcore
So just real
gamer
quick, I'm
unless-
going to take some of the links that people have been posting in the Twitch chat, and I'm going to throw them on the Geek Street Society Facebook thingy mabobber. So yeah, just to let you guys know. So I get quiet and I'm typing a lot. That's what I'm doing. So continue. Sorry.
No. I just think a lot of people don't appreciate Nintendo games for what they are, which are fantastic games.
No, they are. It's just times change and people grow and people want
gamers that like crappier games.
And that's the problem. It's like you can't say that because it's his money he's spending.
That's true.
And if you think it's a crappy game, that's nice, but it's his $60. And if he doesn't want to buy Furry Suit Mario and he wants to buy Killzone, he's going to buy freaking Killzone. And if the Wii U had a Killzone of their own, that doesn't devalue Furry Suit Mario, it just gives them a Killzone.
The problem is I don't think that, like, if Nintendo put out a console of equal or greater power, I don't think the gamers would switch over at this point, though. There's already that brand faith
right, but
to Xbox and PlayStation, and I don't think people will switch for it.
And that's fine, but if you give them incentive to switch, if you give them, for example, they do have a lot of games that would be quote-unquote kiddie. There's nothing wrong with that. I play them. We play them. I mean, you have Marvel superheroes on the PS4
we play
right
them.
now. Me and Eugen, and me and Eugen are not necessarily the most cuddly dudes in the world. Like, we look like we'd hit you in the head with a bat. We were sitting down playing Marvel Lego superheroes and laughing at the really fun, like the kiddie jokes.
And then also, yesterday, me and Aggro were playing
Little
Tiny
Brains. Yeah.
Oh, Tiny Brains is so good.
And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. However, when I want to get my kill on, when I want to beat the hell out of somebody, when I want to be some of the ultra-violent, I can't do anything on the Wii U. I have to switch my console. Well, you can do Smash Bros. Yeah, but I want to Killer Instinct somebody.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Wait, they still have their games that are really good like that. Like one of my favorite games that I played was Zombie U. That game is really fun. Actually,
that's few and far between. But I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the game. I didn't hear it's groundbreaking, like life changing.
Not necessarily, but it's really fun to play and still not a kiddie game, but it still brings that extreme. Fun
I really liked the
it,
multiplayer features of it. That's what I really liked.
Yeah.
The sort of competitive,
and that's fair. But that's one in. More. You know, like even the Wii had Slaughterhouse. Okay, Mad World.
Yeah,
whatever
Mad
it's
World.
called. It's like okay, yeah, that's one.
If they had a more powerful system, they can do more like that, and people would be more inclined to develop for the Wii.
Yeah, so it's really kind of a jacked up circle. It's like the Wii Nintendo needs to find a way to get in the circle and find a way in, and then start to play that game, follow the wheel. Be yourself. Don't change who you are, Nintendo. I'm not saying be this ultra violent, over sexual, give Samus double D's and a bikini and like a pistol that shoots dildos. No, make her Samus.
Or you could.
And don't even change. You could, but don't. I'd rather you didn't. However, give me something that for the more mature game, because you have people who are my age playing Pokemon. But when I want to go kill something, I got to pop in my 360. I got to go pop in my Xbox One.
They put out Arkham Origins. I feel like they've tried. I don't.
They need to try a little bit harder.
That's the problem. I don't.
And again, they need to be exclusives. That's the key word here. Exclusives. Because I can go play Arkham Origins.
The problem is, though, I don't think that people are really at the point where they want to give Nintendo a chance anymore.
If a game gets a great review and it gets a 5 out of 5 across the board, and they can make commercials saying it's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing.
They've done that with tons of Nintendo games, and it never
because
the Wii U still
because
doing
they're just kiddie Nintendo. People still look at it as they're just kiddie Nintendo games. I'm telling you, if they release a game that's rated M for mature and is this crazy, dark, gritty, epic fantasy story that has decapitations and Mario being set on fire, that might help something.
Well, I think that it's gonna help regardless because I mean, the exposure of just Nintendo doing that, because Nintendo's not known for doing that.
We have a call. Okay, you gotta say a point and be off. Okay. Part of our headphones.
Put on our headphones.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to the MouthWash. A little fuzzy right now, but I'm listening.
Hello.
All right. First one. All right. So when you guys are talking about the Wii U coming out with a game that's actually graphic or, pretty violent in the Japanese market when the Wii U, not when the Wii U, but when the Wii first came out, they had games where you could perform surgery, and it was actually extremely graphic and gory.
Are you talking about the Trauma Center games?
The Japanese market has a huge market in that where we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Cool. I don't know what games he's talking about in particular, but I know that
who was that?
Oh, well, thank you, anonymous
thank you for
caller.
Shout out. That was a great point, and I think I'll bring up another point here where it's where it's based. Now, granted, Sony and Nintendo are both Japanese, so they're both based in Japan. But there's a difference in market there because if you look at the top 10 games that are sold here and the top 10 games that are sold in Japan, all top 10 in Japan are Nintendo games versus all 5 here is like Madden, Halo.
That's not necessarily true, but yeah.
Well, I'm not quoting anything here. I'm just saying.
It's not going to
Mario
be the
will
same
most definitely
here.
be on the list in Japan versus it's like Halo, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. Like that's what we have here, and then there's probably a Madden game in there too somewhere.
I going back to our caller's point though, I remember those games.
Oh, it was Wicked Tiki. Shout out.
Sweet. I'm fairly certain. Are you talking about the Trauma Center games? Because the Trauma Center games were awesome. I have one for the DS. It's great. I really liked the Trauma Center game for the Wii, and it was really fun. Yeah, you got to do surgery. It was awesome. And I've been waiting for one to come out for the Wii U because I know how well it would utilize the pad.
Yeah.
Because the DS did it so well. The Trauma Center game for the DS did it very well. And did any of you go online and play that amateur surgeon game?
In a second, you're going to see Wingman pop in front of the camera.
Have any of you played the amateur surgeon game online?
Is it the Adult Swim? Yeah, I remember.
Trauma Center, that game copied Trauma Center.
Right.
Like almost
Trauma
word
Center's
for
a more
word.
serious version.
And yeah, it's sort of a JRPG where you perform surgeries. It's really cool and it's fun. I encourage you to look it out. One came out a while ago called Trauma Team, where you actually played specialized medical professionals. So you'd have different sort of missions and quests where if you were the sort of guy who dealt with bones, you would do mostly bone-based fixing, and then there's people who did focus on sutures and then really microscopic stuff. They're really fun games, and I feel like they never really got the exposure they deserved. And I agree with Wicked Tiki that if they put out a new Trauma Center game that really upped the ante, and took it to sort of like CSI level of like really intense drama, and they it did really well in review, that might help. But I think my main point is right now I think that people have a lack of faith in Nintendo if you're not already, on the Nintendo bandwagon. And I don't personally think that just catering to those players would necessarily switch them over, because we're going to have to wait a while for Nintendo to put out a new console.
Yeah.
We just will. And maybe that's where they can have a strength, is the fact that they came out early means that they can put out another console before the other consoles.
Yeah.
And if they really invest in it and make it really strong, they might be able to switch people over, especially if they get really good support with third party. But that's just speculation. I don't know how much Nintendo can invest in that.
You have to give reason. You have to give people a reason to buy your console. And
I'm jealous of you, Fate 2021, by the way.
He's playing some WildStar.
Oh.
Yeah.
And on to Wicked Tiki's point, Resident Evil 4 on the Wii was way more fun than anywhere else. I played it on the GameCube. I played it on the PS2. The Wii version with the active aiming was so much fun. I loved the Wii.
Well, it came on the GameCube first.
Yeah, it did. And I played it on the GameCube. Resident Evil 4 was
that helped, but that helped the GameCube sell because you had to get RE4 on the GameCube.
And I don't know. But then again, you can look at games like Resident Evil Revelations, which was an exclusive to the 3DS, and it did okay. Mm-hmm. And then they ported it onto the other consoles, all of the other consoles at HD. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of lost all of that effect because Capcom said, "Well, we want to make money off of this game we made." So
again, it's really a snake eating its own tail. You just have to find a way to get in and make your mark. And Nintendo can do it. I know Nintendo can do it because they're king. Nintendo's king. They've been around the longest. They are the granddaddy of gaming, and we love it. We love them. I mean, everyone loves Nintendo as much as you hate on them. You love Nintendo because you played a Nintendo game and you loved it. I don't care who you are. You played a Nintendo game and you loved it at some point in time.
They gave us Castlevania. They gave us Mario. They gave us Metal Gear. They gave us Star Fox.
They gave me Metroid.
You know,
forget all that.
Earthbound.
They gave me Metroid. That's all I care about. I love.
I feel like they should make a new Earthbound game.
Yeah, that was weirdly mature and it was horrifying in some moments.
Here's a real talk though. Why have we not gotten a new F-Zero game since the N64?
That's a great question.
That could be the Wii U's exclusive racing title, and they could make it over the top and really cool and really fun and hyper violent. You could make F-Zero hyper violent.
Burn out that
have
game.
Cars exploding and flying off rails and have really cool effects and maybe add the combat. Like that game was really fun to race.
Yeah, it was,
in.
And it was just had a cool. Sorry, just keep. I have to read this comment. 1 second.
I don't know. I get what you guys are saying when it comes to getting the third party support. I think that we need. I agree that it needs to be exclusive.
That comes, like I was saying before, directly from Nintendo. You have to make people want to develop for your system.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is to basically make a more powerful system. I mean that kind of has to come. It has to be a thing that they do now.
Honestly, if they really wanted to compete, they should have just released the Wii U mid-life during the 360 and the PS4. Then they could have been something because then people were like, oh, it's just as powerful. We can play around with this. Then they released the PS4 and the Xbox One. They can release theirs later, understanding that now it's just as powerful as these guys. But we have the cool Nintendo quirky things that make it a Nintendo console, but the power of an Xbox One or a PS4, let's play ball. Because we have, on top of everything else, if it's really good and it's really powerful and above it has Nintendo, now your mom will buy it for you because it says Nintendo on it.
Yeah.
Because
I'll just buy it.
There won't be any bouncing titties because it's Nintendo. You don't have to tell her that, but it says Nintendo on it.
That's what she thinks.
That's what she thinks. And then Dead or Alive happened. But anyway.
Nintendo also needs to up their game on their online support.
It won't hurt.
They've been working on it. I absolutely love the Miiverse feature of the Wii U. I think it's great. It's entertaining. It has lots of little cool features.
What does that actually do?
It's kind of like a social gaming
network for Nintendo
network.
I was gonna say I see it on my Wii, but I never actually do anything with it.
So with the Miiverse on the Wii U, it interacts with a lot of your different games. Like if you're sailing around in Wind Waker, for example, you can pick up these little bottles in the ocean that have pictures with little comments that other people have made, and they're usually just sort of humorous and comical and make sailing through the ocean a little bit more entertaining. And then there's different, groups on the Miiverse. So if you go to the actual Miiverse app and feature, they have different groups and sort of forums for different games where people can post little drawings that they do or ask for help or look for groups and party members in different games like Monster Hunter. And
stuff like that. So.
It's just a cool little thing, and it's moderated really well, so it's not really full of trolls. So you just get all these little comical pictures and really, helpful hints and a good community.
If we manage this our last segment, so we're wrapping up the show. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone in the Twitch.tv chat for hanging out yet again. We appreciate you guys. We've had a great week with you guys. Please keep coming back. I love seeing these names. I feel like we're close.
We're going to see more names on there, so bring your friends.
Yeah, so bring your friends. It's going to be a great time. I see we have 208, is that 85 views? Is that what that is? That's just awesome. Thank you guys so much. And everyone else that's just tuned in and had a fun time. I know we made you laugh. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. And next week we'll be talking about third-person shooters to continue on Wicked Tiki's question. I will say her name right without effort one day, I promise you.
Wicked Tiki.
Wiki. Anyway. So, remember, Facebook. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Spreaker. We are on TuneIn. We are now on Twitch. We are uploading stuff to YouTube. There's no reason for you not to indulge yourself.
Hashtag Geekstreetsociety. So go check that out.
There's no reason for you not to share it with all your homies and friends. At the end of the show, we will post all our gamer tags one more time. That way, if you see us online, shout us out and have a good time with us because we care about. It's about you, the people. Anyway, so I'm Fasa.
This is Aggro.
And we were joined by...
And this is Eugene. Just real quick before we go, though.
Yeah. We have a little surprise for y'all.
Hopefully, I can get the permission of Mr. Bossman himself, Mr. Chain Clouds.
A.K.A. the Black Charizard.
Exactly. We can get Geek Week back up this Sunday. So if we do that, please tune back in. Hopefully, I can get some of the guys from this show on there.
Oh, if you know it. So, for those of you who don't know, Geek Week is this kind of just our kickback. We have a great time to just talk about what happened in the week. I usually just put a TV on the table and play Halo.
It's uncensored.
It's uncensored, so you can see us say all the nasty words you want to hear. And that will make you laugh twice as hard because I say cuss words funny. So make sure to tune back in. Just stay tuned all week. And
we have lots of shows. If you go down in the Twitch feed, you can see all the other schedules and links that you need to go to, so go check that out. We'll also be posting links at the end of the show in the Twitch chat.
Of all the stuff you've done. Thank you guys so much for joining in. It's just so cool. We appreciate it. Like us, follow us.
Subscribe or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. There's both of them, so subscribe to both. Let's Plays and reviews and news.
Coming up, we're getting a new capture card.
Yeah. And a machinima. So